Good evening and welcome to the Prime Edition, this last day of the month of July the 31st, 212 days since the year began. On the Gregorian calendar, we are on the second and the last lap of the year, 153 days, of course, remaining to go. Hope you're in sound health. Those who are under the weather, get well soon. Now, following a spike in the illegal logging, the government in 2018 imposed a ban on the activity. 6 years later, at the beginning of July 2023, President William Ruto lifted the ban apparently to boost the economies of areas that depend on forest products. Now, what measures are in place to ensure unscrupulous traders don't take advantage of this move? Now, let me swing to the question on whether organizations should set aside a special place from where lactating workers can breastfeed their babies. Well, experts have pronounced themselves on this issue as the World Breastfeeding Week kicked off today. We have all these and more, but first, our top stories tonight. I'd love to give you an executive summary of how our top stories look like, but let's get straight into this live broadcast and begin with our lead story where Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has named a 5-member team led by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka to the dialogue committee that will engage with the government. In a statement, the opposition has also listed 5 issues it wants addressed, among them the cost of living, inclusivity in national affairs, and respect for political parties in line with the Constitution. Our reporter, J.J. Curia, with the details of the demands likely to generate political backlash.
The 5-member team from the Azimio coalition includes Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, National Assembly Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi, immediate former Defense CS and DAPK party leader Eugene Wamalwa, Nyamira Senator Okongo Omugeni, and Kilifi County MP Amina Munyanzi. In what is likely to kick up a political storm, Azimio has introduced a fresh demand for inclusivity in national affairs. Additionally, it also wants discussions to be centered on the high cost of living, audit of the 2022 elections, the bipartisan reconstitution of the IEBC, and respect for political parties. The coalition also called on the Kenya Kwanza counterparts to outline their priorities without appearing to shortchange Azimio's agenda. The opposition further wants a resolution of the issues within a month, beginning Tuesday the 1st of August. The Kenya Kwanza team is yet to name their representatives to the team, but have outlined their priorities through a letter authored by Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah. The reconstitution of the IEBC, the implementation of the 2/3 gender principle, the entrenchment of a CDF, the establishment of the Office of the Official Opposition, and the amendment of the Office of a Prime Cabinet Secretary are the key issues for Kenya Kwanza. John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
And in education, a total of 285,167 students have secured placements in 282 training institutions. Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu said out of the number, 140,107 students will join universities, while 144,500 have been placed in technical as well as vocational education and training institutions, TVETs, with 560 applicants joining secondary teachers training colleges. The CS at the same time launched an application portal for the new funding model for higher education.
While officially releasing the 2023-2024 KUPPS placement results at the Kenya School of Government in Nairobi, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu noted that the Commission for University Education and TVETs approved 768,624 capacities for students' placement in 69 universities, 210 TVET institutions, and 3 secondary teacher training colleges. For the 2022 cohorts, 870,561 were eligible for placements, with only 285,698 submitting their applications.
Of whom 285,167 have secured places in degree, diploma, craft, certificate, and arts and courses.
At the same time, Machogu also launched an application portal for the new funding model for higher education institutions that was unveiled by President William Ruto in May this year.
To address the current financial challenges at institutions of higher learning because of increasing enrollment in the face of inadequate funding.
We are grateful to the government that beginning September, there'll be more resources coming to the universities. I urge you to continuously diversify your funding streams.
Through the new model, Machogu says it will fully cater to education costs of vulnerable and extremely needy students who comprise 29% of student population joining university and TVETs this year.
Authorization will be realized through a reliable scientific method, commonly known as means testing instrument, used to determine the students' level of financial needs to ensure they are supported adequately.
To access the funds, eligible students will be required to make formal application through the Higher Education Financing Portal. Also, students can check their placement details by sending their KCSE index numbers via SMS to 20842. The results will at the same time be made available on the KUPS portal. Opicho Chemtai for Prime Edition.
Engage with us on our socials at KBC Channel 1, my Twitter handle at Mboya24. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Moving on, Information, Communication and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo says that the food distribution exercise that he has been undertaking should not be mistaken as politics, but part of government's mandate to address sufferings of those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. Owalo, who was outlining his achievements since being appointed, said that while government was keen in developing the country, the current administration took office at a time when the country was facing unprecedented drought, and that was a pressing need for relief food, and leaders had to step in. Why? To help in relief food distribution. Nancy Okware puts that story in perspective.
Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo has been vocal in the Nyanza region and has from time to time engaged in relief food distribution to the vulnerable. His engagements in the region have been interpreted by some as politics. However, the CS has set the record straight, saying that his engagements are purely within his mandate to disseminate government policy, while at the same time helping the needy in society.
If people are hungry and you are a leader, what is wrong with distributing relief food? Are you going to prioritize provision of Wi-Fi and digital laboratories and not giving food, which is a basic necessity? Yeah? So I've not expressly come out to distribute, to undertake politics in Nyanza.
Owalo says that politics inform governance programs, hence part of his role is to advocate for a conducive environment for investment and wealth creation.
And I believe that there's nothing wrong by telling people that for the government to effectively deliver on its mandate, we must create an enabling environment for the government to be able to deliver on its programs and activities. There is no way the government is going to deliver its programs and activities in an environment that is not palatable. Or even for the purposes of the private sector, in an environment where we have got demonstrations.
The Principal Secretary for the State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunications, Professor Edward Kisiangani, is of the school of thought that you cannot divorce man from politics.
Everything is politics. You can come up with any semantics. And politics is everything that happens under polity, which is described, defined territorially, and a given law to govern it. When the CS goes to the field to distribute, the CS is a political animal. I am a political animal. Let it go on record.
In the meantime, the government has been urged to fast-track the process of recruiting a government spokesperson to help centralize dissemination of information on government undertakings.
We do not have a government spokesperson. who will be disseminating relevant information as pertains this ministry. We have a lot of projects that the government is doing, impacting positively to the society, but the communication has been missing.
Of course, it is being undertaken by the Public Service Commission. It's at the tail end, and perhaps in another 2 weeks at most, we should be having a capable and competent government spokesman who can meticulously execute the mandate of that office.
Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
Of course, that presentation that was made by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology and Digital Economy earlier on today. And some of the highlights of what was laid out during that presentation were the fiber optic cable. And in fact, the CS going ahead to say that they had not actually met that target. They had in fact exceeded it by about 280 kilometers. And also the CS indicating that the mapping for all the areas where the 100,000 kilometer fiber optic cable will run has already been undertaken. And on the government's common core network upgrade, the CS also touching on the infrastructure, indicating that it was aged and resulting into frequent internet outages. The ministry upgrading the network at both the passive and active component levels. On the installation and operationalization of public Wi-Fi hotspots, so far 421 free public Wi-Fi hotspots have been achieved as at the 31st of July 2023. And of course, 14,690 public Wi-Fi hotspot areas having been identified as well. Digital hubs, 174 established, and in addition, operationalized as well. Digitalization of government services, there you go, 5,084 services have been digitalized against a target of 5,000, again exceeding the targets that they had set for themselves as a ministry. Another 2,555 services have also been partially digitized. Digital skills and jobs, 77 TVETs supplied with 6,700 virtual desktops. 4 universities have been supplied with 400 units of virtual desktops, and 1 community center supplied with 100 virtual desktops. Still under digital skills, we have 21 schools supplied with 100 virtual desktops, 8 ministry, departmental and agencies supplied with another 100 virtual desktops, and a total of almost 109,000 youth from the Ajira program directly getting digital jobs as a result. And of course, there was a lot of emphasis that he laid on the fact that the meetings that are being taken at cabinet level now are taking place on the virtual platform, meaning that the operations at cabinet level are paperless. Well, we're going to take our first break. Don't go away. We'll be back with much, much more, including a look at the day's business and sports later on. Stay with us.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from a unique blend of natural herbs and is scientifically proven to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Cheza Loto Moto. Sasa unaweza jishindia instantly na Loto Moto. Dial star 570 hash. Wakati wowote, siku yoyote ya wiki na mahali popote. Dial star 570 hash. Kisha chagua moja kati ya games za Loto Moto. Weka stakes zako 50 shillings, 300, 500, 2,000 shillings. The bigger your stake, the greater or the bigger your prizes. Cheza mara kadhaa. Nakumbuka, cheza responsibly. 18 years and above.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Are you a musician, music producer, vocalist, instrumentalist, or artist? Starting from the 26th of July to 2nd of August 2023, the National Youth Council is looking for that one unique identity youth song. The language of the song should be strictly either English or Swahili. Qualified contestants will be judged by industry experts, supported by Permanent Presidential Music Commission, PPMC, and shared online under our official hashtags. Fursa Youth Challenge.
Return of the Cypher started in 2021, just after COVID. We were trying to bring back the dancers because they had been locked down for so long. When we put it back, it was important for this to just bring dancers back.
World Class offers the opportunity for cocktail enthusiasts of all skill levels and backgrounds to stretch themselves, experience the global camaraderie of industry professionals, and evolve into more confident bartenders.
Linking the Africa, the continent, with its diaspora through the expression of rock, reggae, rap, and the spirit of Ngoma. You know what's Ngoma?
Zuchu, honey, A1Z, it's a bang.
Nakupenda, honey, we unanitisa.
Basi latosha. Kivumbi leo.
Welcome back. Our socials at KBC Channel 1, my Twitter handle at Mboya24. Now, straight to the corridors of justice. The petition challenging the operationalization of the Finance Act is now a subject of the Supreme Court after Busia Senator Okia Omtata and his co-petitioners filed a notice of appeal at the Apex Court. The move follows a decision by a 3-judge bench at the Court of Appeal setting aside conservatory orders by the High Court that blocked the implementation of the law.
48 hours after the Court of Appeal lifted conservatory orders blocking the implementation of the Finance Act, Okia Omtata, Edward Karanja Matindi, Benson Odior Otieno, and Blair Angima Oigoro were back in court. Therefore, moved to the Supreme Court to appeal the Friday decision by Justices Mohamed Warsame, Kathrima Minoti, and Helen Omondi. The focus now moved to the 7-judge bench led by Chief Justice Martha Koome to give direction. Elsewhere, the hearing of the Kimwarer and Aror Dam case failed to proceed after witness told the court that he was not in the right frame of mind to testify.
Your Honor, I take this opportunity to apologize to you for delaying this court. It is not my wish. I've always kept time. It's only that today, last night I had personal issues and I had to sort them. So I slept late and then I had to wake up on it again. But I've tried my best to be here.
I would not want to be accused for him collapsing in court. Or being under pressure because of the difficulties that he has had. I was saying that off the record before my learned friend can decide whether they want to proceed or not. I understand his predicament.
The matter will continue tomorrow.
In objection by the state, I'm willing to indulge the said witness to allow him today to rest.
In the case, former Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich has been charged with conspiracy to defraud the government more than 63 billion shillings in the Aror and Kimwarer Dams scandal. Michael Mondiga for Prime Edition.
Wild Rangers Day was marked with calls for those engaging in illegal logging to desist or face the law. Kenya Forest Service Acting Commandant David Chege warned that government will take decisive action against individuals taking advantage of the president's directive to engage in illegal logging. The theme for this year's celebration is 30 by 30. What does that mean? Conserving 30% of the earth by the year 2030. Timothy Kipnusu reports.
Celebrations to mark World Rangers Day in Nairobi. It is during the commemoration that Kenya Forest Service Acting Commandant David Chege read the riot act to those involved in illegal logging.
They are the ones who are the forefront in ensuring that the trees that are being cut are cut at the right place, that the right people are the ones authorized, and they conduct what we call a protection, rather logging plan by ensuring that only what is allowed is removed and from where it is allowed.
Corporal Simon Koske. Chege has also called on the government to look into the warfare of the forest rangers working in bandit-prone areas.
There are challenges of resources to be able to protect those forests. The environment in which they live also, they may not have enough resources to be able to utilize to do their work effectively.
He lauded officers who have paid the ultimate price while on duty. According to Chege, 31 forest rangers have been injured, while 11 have lost their lives in the line of duty. He said the Kenya Forest Service is currently engaging in tree planting activities to support the president's agenda of planting 15 billion trees by 2030.
They support all the conservation work, reforestation, planting of trees, protecting them.
Similar celebrations were held in Taita Taveta County. Officers from the Kenya Wildlife Service marked it in style. They paid tribute to their colleagues who passed on while on duty and feted others for their hard work.
We are proud because always hard work pays. The KWS management understands too well the importance of continuous staff welfare improvement to ensure that rangers are fully facilitated.
What we have been encouraging is the local tourism. Wale watu wanatoka maybe wa Kenya wenyewe, tunakuja tunaingia huko tunaona wanyama, and it's part of relaxing.
Even as Kenya joins other nations in the world in commemorating World Rangers Day, it is evident that the forest rangers have a huge and enormous responsibility in protecting 2.6 million hectares of public forest, with the rangers calling on the government to improve their terms of service. Timothy Kipnusu for Prime Edition, Nairobi.
Forest mangroves play a key role in ocean, ensuring a balance in the ecosystem while protecting the coastline and other endangered species. To understand just how the mangroves are protected from exploitation, Sarafina Robi engaged a team of forest rangers who navigate the Indian Ocean waters to protect the mangroves.
The sunset is fast approaching as we arrive at the Chido Creek in Mombasa County. We find a team of rangers ready to leave for the evening patrol in the Indian Ocean. The rangers are in full gear as they start the engine and navigate the dark waters. They are on a mission to ensure the flora of the ocean remains protected. As they disappear from the horizons, one wonders what this expedition means to them.
Ya passion, roho kupenda mazingira, because hii ndio mazingira yetu, na kwa manufaa ya jamii hii na ijayo lazima tuhifadhi.
People cooking changa in mangroves, they use this area as their habitat or hibernation because it's far from civilization. They hide out here when there is high tide. They found it very safe for them. But since the service procured these boats, the hideout has been fired to them.
The mission is not without turbulent moments.
Uko nje usiku kutarajia. Kuna maji, umeingia kazi mahali, ukitoka maji haikuruhusu kutembea na boti, inabidi usubiri maji ijae.
Ukipata huo mwalifu anazaruka kwa maji, anakuruka kwa maji, hapo kitambo umfikie inakuwa ni ngumu.
Because an offender is usually turned to be wild, so you need to be prepared.
To reduce illegal activities in the ocean, they have sensitized the community on the importance of mangroves and are ready for any eventualities.
Tumekusanya CBOs huko nje ambazo kwa jina ya CFA, Community Forest Association. Tunawaelimisha umuhimu wa uhifadhi wa mkoko. So wao watasambaza neno kule nje. So, kidogo namba ya uharibifu inapungua kulingana vile tunaongeza namba ya CFM.
Acting Chief Conservator Forest Alex Lemarkoko explains the importance of conserving the mangroves.
And in Kenya we have about 61,000 hectares of mangrove along the coastal environment because this is where we have the breeding ground for a diverse ecosystem of various creatures, sea creatures, including the crustaceans and many other fish species. They also provide the protection against the tides that oftenly impact on the seashores.
As forest rangers mark World Rangers Day, they remain optimistic their challenges will be addressed.
Kwa upande wangu nilikuwa naonelea maoni rangers wakuwe equipped na vitu ambazo zinaweza kutumia kwa maji kama yani uniform, kando na hizo uniform za kazi wakuwe na uniform ya marine. Alafu kitu kingine wakiwa na mabusu yametoroka anaweza kumfuata kwa maji kama anaweza kuogelea. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa naomba wafunzwe, wapate mafunzo ya kutosha kuhusu bahari.
This is Lemarkoko shared a key message to the rangers.
Theme is 30 by 30. Basically it means that we have to attain, according to the UNCBD, that aspires for us to attain at least 30% of our ecosystems restored and conserved. For us to be able to attain that, we have to provide the rangers with the necessary support in terms of welfare, in terms of tools of the trade, and in terms of facilitation. Now, that cannot happen unless we provide the forest services, the forest organizations, the forest departments globally with the resources that are required.
The coastal mangroves spread out across the Chuda Creek, Mtwapa Creek, and Mwachi. They are at the heart of the ocean to ensure that the ecosystem is in balance, keeping away all illegal activities, both day and night. Their only plea to everyone is to help in the conservation. From the Marine Rangers and I, Semper Fidelis, Serafina Robi for KBC Channel 1.
The Kenya Defence Forces, KDF, announces to the public the recruitment of General Service Officer, GSO, cadets, regular and graduate degree holders, specialist officers, general duty recruits, trades men and women, and Defence Forces constables, scheduled to take place in the months of August and September 2023. For details of the recruitment process, tune in to Radio Taifa on the following dates just after the 7 p.m. news bulletin, Monday, the 31st of July 2023. Remember, no one can influence the recruitment process. Bribery and other acts of corruption are against the law. KDF recruitment is absolutely free to all.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from a unique blend of natural herbs and is scientifically proven to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ulitoka vipi bila kuniambia wewe?
Yaani kutoka siku zote leo ni mbaya. Yaani si vile ninavyomfahamu.
Unifahamu wewe? Unifahamu kabisa? Sikujui. Tinga huyu mtu nani? Mimi peke yangu ndio jinamizi kwenye ile nyumba.
Yaani mtoto jinsi unavyong'ara. Tunameremeta. Mtoto kubambamu.
Ni kwaje mbona hali ya mama imebadilika ghafla namna hii?
This is the show that keeps you updated on everything you need to know about technology.
Digital resilience is about organizations being able to continue to operate despite negative impacts that they've experienced.
The subject digital transformation, we keep talking about it, but
very many people fail to understand that.
Twitter's removal of blue ticks is forcing accounts to find new ways to prove authenticity as concerns over copycats mount. At the same time, Elon Musk has given blue ticks to a few celebrities who didn't ask for one, such as writer Stephen King and Larry Madowo, for free.
Take on Tech every Monday at 10:30 p.m. on KBC Channel 1. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Nutritionists are now advocating for a policy review to incorporate flexibility for the working breastfeeding mothers. Why? To ensure that their babies consume breast milk exclusively for 6 months. The experts want lactation stations established in working places for easy realization of the initiative. The calls come as Kenya joins the global community in commemorating the World Breastfeeding Week, which kicked off from the 1st all the way to the 7th of August.
Speaking during a media sensitization on workplace support for breastfeeding mothers, Director of Nutrition and Dietetic Services in the Ministry of Health, Veronica Kirogo, urged employers to set aside lactation stations for mothers.
It was revealed that as a country we are losing 374 billion shillings annually due to child undernutrition. But where does this undernutrition start? From the time the mother is pregnant, through the breastfeeding period, and beyond.
She further noted that there was a drop of 1% in breastfeeding mothers, according to a demographic health survey. At the same time, Laura Kiige, a nutritionist support officer from the United Nations Children's Fund, highlighted the benefits of breastfeeding and its impacts on children's survival. She underscored the significance of breastfeeding support for working parents.
So if you're not giving the mothers a chance for them to breastfeed their children, we are denying them a very important aspect of their life, which is parenting that child, holding, cuddling, loving, speaking to the baby getting familiar with who the mother is, and all such are very important aspects of parenting.
For Prime Edition, I'm Purity Musyoka.
Well, the Breastfeeding Week kickoff is the 1st of August and it runs all the way to the 8th of August. Meanwhile, the Council of Governors say that it has concluded the planning process for the 8th Devolution Conference, slated for the 15th of August all the way to the 19th of August 2023. This year's theme is 10 years of devolution, the present and the future. The conference, which will be held at the Uasin Gishu County, will see over 10,000 people in attendance. The council chair, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, has noted that there is need to undertake a more comprehensive of the County Government Act 2012 to address the emerging issues. The county heads have vowed to come up with a proposal for consideration.
In this regard, we wish to confirm to the country that the Council of Governors, together with its partners, has concluded the planning process for the Devolution Conference 2023, whose theme is 10 years of devolution, the present and the future. The conference will be held in Uasin Gishu County, Eldoret Sports Club, from the 15th to 19th of August. We have developed a robust program for the 3 days. Additionally, we have lined up pre-conference activities such as athletics and football to interact with the members of the public ahead of the conference. In line with the special presidential program to grow 15 billion trees by 2032, the county governments have so far grown 7.3 million trees. Further, we will grow 300 trees in Uasin Gishu to kickstart the conference. The council notes that the State Department of Devolution reviewed the County Governments Act 2012 without the involvement of the county government. Yet, this is a critical legislation in the implementation of devolution. However, we welcome the move to review the Act to conform to the judgments of the court, which declared the county development boards unconstitutional, amongst other critical issues.
He headed different ministries in Kenya's independence government. This week on the cabinet, we focus on James Charles Nahuanga Osogo, who served in President Jomo Kenyatta's administration.
Charles Nakwanga Osogo was born in 1932 in Bukani village in Bunyala district. He was raised in a staunch Catholic setup, at some point considering joining the seminary. After school, Osogo joined the East African Railways and trained at the East African Railways and Harbours Institute in Nairobi. Between 1951 to 1953, Osogo served as assistant station master in Kenya and Uganda. In 1953 to 1954, he studied at the Kagumo Teachers Training College and acquired his P2 certificate. Between 1955 to 1959, he served as a teacher in various schools. In 1960, he served as the headmaster of Kabisanga School, and in 1961, he served as a headmaster in Nangina School. Osogo's political career started in 1963 when he was elected to the Legislative Council of Kenya to represent Rwanda. From 1964 to 1966, he served as Assistant Minister for Agriculture before becoming Minister for Information and Broadcasting in 1966 to 1969. Between 1969 to 1973, he was the Minister for Commerce and Industry. In 1970, he headed the Ministry of Agriculture. In 1973 to 1974, he was Minister for Local Government. At the same time, in 1974, he headed the Health Docket concurrently as Minister for Foreign Affairs. In 1978, he served as Deputy Leader of Government Business. In 1979, he served as Minister for Agriculture, and in 1980 as Minister for Livestock. He was awarded Elder Order of the Golden Heart in Kenya, Grand Cordon of the Star of Ethiopia, Order of the Star of Africa in Liberia, and Grand Cross of the Star Yugoslav flag, the first class. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet.
Well, thank you for joining us as we tell you the latest in the world of business this Monday evening. My name is Weri Mujenga. Now, the government will soon start preparing national cereals and produce board depots across the country in preparation for a bumper maize harvest that is expected this season. Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, says the government will repair 36 mobile dryers and purchase 70 more as part of the government's efforts towards post-harvest management of farmers' produce.
The Ministry of Agriculture projects farmers to harvest 19.7 million bags of maize between this month and September. In addition, some farmers in the North Rift are expected to harvest the long grains crop in the last 3 months of the year. To help reduce post-harvest losses, the government plans to renovate National Cereals and Produce Board depots to take up the grain from the farmers.
We can see production, we can see the kind of yield that we are expecting. And we are very happy because I think in another 2 months, shortage of maize, shortage of food in this country will be a thing of the past.
Speaking at the African Inland Church Korotet in Western Gishu, Koskei said there are plans to purchase dryers and repair the existing ones as part of plans to reduce post-harvest losses.
National Cereals and Produce Board will even provide a space for you to keep your maize if you are not selling that time. So we are very clear, and we want to make sure that farming is a business and there is comfort in farming.
He called on farmers to embrace modern farming techniques to maximize yields.
We have also come up with what we call warehouse receipting system, where private sector players will come up with the stores of their own, which are going to be certified. And the farmers will be using these stores only for storage.
Koskei announced that the government will soon roll out the second phase of distribution of the subsidized fertilizer across the country.
The Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy says over 5,000 government services are now available online, which is past 100% of its June 30th, 2023 set target, while giving a status report of his ministry's achievement since he took office. Information, Communication and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo also said plans are on the rollout of digital identity cards for accessing government services online, but which will not be mandatory.
When the Kenya Kwanza government took power, one of its key agenda under the bottom-up economic model was to enhance the digital superhighway in a bid to position Kenya as a digital and innovation hub. To achieve the milestone, the government initiated the Kenya National Digital Master Plan 2022 to 2032, which outlines an inclusive, affordable and accessible internet connectivity, as well as establishment of digital infrastructure across the country. While giving a status report of his ministry since taking over office, Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo says the government has so far exceeded its target in the feat.
Private sector players have managed to roll out 2,500 kilometers, while as government we have managed to roll out 2,780 kilometers.
To accelerate fiber connectivity, Owalo says county governments have agreed to waive leaves fees for the smooth flow of the program. To make internet accessible to many Kenyans, the ministry has operationalized 421 free public Wi-Fi hotspots in the last 7 months, with 194 of the Wi-Fis established in partnership with county governments in markets and county headquarters. 172 Wi-Fi connections have been established as a part of community innovation hubs and 55 directly by ICTA.
Our target was to establish and operationalize 2 Wi-Fi hotspots per county by June 2023. As we speak, we have surpassed this target.
The ministry has also established 174 digital hubs with a target of 290 hubs annually.
That those Kenyans who are operating at the bottom of the economic pyramid are supported by government to get access to internet.
On digitization of government services, Owalo said more than 5,000 government services are available online as of end of June, with a target of onboarding all government services on the e-Citizen platform by the end of the year.
As we speak, there's fundamental work in progress in finalization of the digitalization of those additional 2,500. So for purposes of clarity, let me give you the comfort that the target of fully digitalizing government services by the end of the year is realistic and achievable.
On Jitume program that seeks to equip 1 million learners with on-demand ICT skills and entrepreneurship knowledge, the CS noted a total of 8,159 devices have been supplied to 112 institutions and has created 109,000 digital jobs.
White-collar jobs are today limited. The only space where we have got enormous potential as a means of alleviating the unemployment situation in the country is through digital jobs.
To support digital entrepreneurship, the ministry says it has held conversations with the mobile network operators on producing low-cost digital telephone gadgets and other digital devices by August this year. As Kenyans move to fully embrace technology, the CS said the country is in the process of rolling out a digital identity which will be optional and no one will be forced. Wairi Mujenga for Prime Edition.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from a unique blend of natural herbs and is scientifically proven to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Sasa unaweza jishindia instantly na Loto Moto. Dial star 570 hash. Wakati wowote, siku yoyote ya wiki na mahali popote. Dial star 570 hash. Kisha chagua moja kati ya games za Loto Moto. Weka stakes zako 50 shillings, 300, 500, 2,000 shillings. The bigger your stake, the greater or the bigger your prizes. Cheza mara kadhaa. Na kumbuka, cheza responsibly. 18 years and above.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Oh yes, Massive and Crew, if you love reggae and you're a reggae head, you know the place to be each and every Wednesday.
You gotta show me there's a future in this. You make me stay when I should not. Are you so strong or is the weakness in me? Why do you come here?
Yeah, remember this is where radio meets TV.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with the business news of the day. Women-led businesses are often edged out of tendering ventures owing to a lack of financial muscle, according to various studies. To correct this, Safaricom, MasterCard, KEPSA and Jubilee have rolled out a business proposition dubbed SC Women International Network, developed where women-owned businesses will benefit from credit access, saving, investment, insurance options, as well as networking opportunities and access to the global market. Amuv Kariuki Ngare, Chief Executive Officer of the Standard Chartered Bank Kenya, says will increase women's inclusivity in business.
Data from the International Monetary Fund indicates that women-owned businesses account for 48% of all micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, which contribute around 20% to Kenya's GDP. However, access to finance remains a hurdle.
It's not just about funding, access to funding. It's access to mentorship, to network, to infrastructure, to expertise, right?
The invoice financing plan will see beneficiaries benefit from enhanced entrepreneurship skills, grow their businesses in competitive sector, and support access to formal financing opportunities.
Together work with Safaricom and ourselves to create a product that the women can be able, once they get an order, they get a tender from that Safaricom, they can be able to come to us and we can be able to discount the invoices. That's why we are very happy about this. It goes the heart of what we believe in lifting participation as a bank, but also more important also is creating and supporting the government agenda for supporting entrepreneurs and especially SMEs.
Father Kariuki Ngare, CEO of Standard Chartered Bank Kenya, says under the collaborative business proposition, women-owned businesses will also receive mentorship and business training to ensure long-term support for their businesses and facilitate sustainable development.
Taking advantage of an international network and be able to bring the opportunities to the women entrepreneurs, not just domestically, but also abroad. And so create the ideas, create a community where we could share ideas, we could celebrate successes, and we could tackle the challenges with a collective strength.
The facility is currently in operation in India and Malaysia. Regina Manyara reporting for Prime Edition.
Now, Mumia's Sugar is the latest mailer to suspend operations as cane shortage persists. The Sarai group that runs the giant sugar mill says it has run out of mature cane to crush, which the Kakamega County government faulting the management of not growing cane in the expansive company's farm in advance to alleviate cane shortage.
The Sugar Directorate suspended sugarcane harvesting in the country early this month in a bid to curb harvesting of immature cane. The directorate said competition among millers for limited cane in the market saw a section of millers going for a mature crop, jeopardizing future cane harvest. The ban has seen sugar prices increase by 50%, with a kilo retailing at an average of 250 shillings. Mboya's sugar company is the latest miller to halt operations after running out of cane to crush. However, the county government of Kakamega is blaming the management of the giant miller for failing to grow sugarcane at the company's 15,000 farm to supplement cane deliveries from farmers.
Rai has only invested 10% of what is expected in cane development. Mumiazi Sugar has 15,000 acres. Railukenda Kule has only planted cane in 500 acres. That means Sarai is struggling.
The management has also been asked to settle workers' dues that amount to 2.3 billion shillings. The devolved units have asked the Sarai Group to consider increasing production of sugar by products to stay afloat. During a tour of Kakamega last month, President William Ruto promised that the National Treasury will institute measures to manage Mboya's sugar company debt in a bid to optimize the miller's operations. Frederick Mukifu Prime Edition.
That marks the end of business news, but I'll now hand you over to the sports anchor, that is Karen Kibet, with the latest in the world of sports.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from a unique blend of natural herbs and is scientifically proven to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Watu wa Maimahi umupo, stesheni uipendayo ya Shoro FM imekuandalia tamasha kali ya Mugithi Night Jumamosi tarehe 5 Agosti mwaka huu hapo VIP Nest Lounge Maimahi. Karabi na bendi yake wataporomosha burudani kabambe kuanzia saa 2 za usiku hadi che. Ma-MC wetu wa nguvu, Mwana Mwende, Joseph Njenga na makoha wa Vioja Mahakamani wamewatayarishia vichekesho kemkema na zawadi kocho kocho za kushindaniwa. Mafansu wa Naivasha na Maimahiu mnaombwa kujitokeza tujumuike pamoja kupiga sherehe. Hii itakuwa kali sana.
Ulitoka vipi bila kuniambia wewe?
Yaani kutoka siku zote leo ni mbaya. Yaani si vile ninavyomfahamu.
Unifahamu wewe? Unifahamu kabisa? Sikujui. Ingo huyu mtu nani? Mimi peke yangu ndio jinamizi kwenye ile nyumba.
Yaani mtoto jinsi unavyong'ara. Mtoto unameremeta. Mtoto kubambamu.
Ni kwaje mbona hali ya mama imebadilika ghafla namna hii?
A very good evening to you. I do hope you're holding up well. My name is Karen Kibet. Let's now take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. The national team to the Commonwealth Youth Games was flagged off today by the Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba in a brief ceremony held at the ministry headquarters here in Nairobi. The team is expected to leave tomorrow for Trinidad and Tobago to take part in the games set to be held between the 4th and the 11th of next month. The team consists of 36 athletes from 7 different disciplines, including beach volleyball, athletics and cycling.
The team is set to leave the country tomorrow, ready to take part in the event set to start on the 4th of next month. The team received a national flag today from Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba and exuded confidence of performing well in the event, which brings together former British colonies. Namwamba said the government injected 150 million shillings towards preparations and participation of the team in the event. Ababu said he is confident the team will bring home medals.
As a ministry, we
recognize this as a very special moment to hand you our very special national flag to fly in Trinidad and Tobago for the 7th Commonwealth Youth Games.
Although you are going there as an individual and as a team to showcase your talents and skills which are specific to each one of you, you also go there to represent the rest of the 50 million Kenyans.
Meanwhile, the national junior triathlon team has been training in Mombasa in preparation for the event. The team, under coach Alfan Mwanyika, has been training in Kilifi County for the past 2 weeks.
The preparations have been good, so far so good. We thank National Olympic Committee of Kenya for such a fantastic venue for the Games.
I think it's very critical because it's not only in Africa, it's outside Africa. So for all of us our age, we're just trying to prove ourselves that we're ready to move on to the next stage, which is the elite stage.
For Prime Edition, I'm Fred Njogu.
Thank you, Fred, for that report. Moving on, Football for Schools app that is designed to help coaches and teachers in schools to introduce school children to football has been launched. The app, which was launched by Football Kenya Federation in partnership with World Soccer governing body FIFA. 50 teachers from all the 47 counties who are trained on the coaching skills and use of the app were issued with certificates at the Buhungu Stadium in Kakamega. Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa said primary school teachers who have been trained through the program shall be given priority in the FKF coaching courses. The program will also see all primary schools in Kenya benefit from 63,000 soccer balls and training equipment from FIFA.
So it's a very independent program. It's about giving skills to children, giving skills to children from 4 to 14, and then they will continue. So the first year, and it will be integrated to the strategic plan of the FKF, and then it can be sustainable.
That this is a lifetime project. It is meant to introduce kids to football so they can have fun, enjoy, then we can pick the best in our other programs. We have realized the only way we can compete with Senegal is to train our kids. So we are doing this in preparation for what we're doing to go up, to give them the skills by 18, 19 to compete with our compatriots.
Football Kenya Federation Women's Premier League champions Vihiga Queens FC have intensified their training ahead of the Sekafa tournament that will kick off on the 12th of August in Uganda. The tournament will be a qualifier for the CAF Women's Champions League that will be held between the 5th to the 19th November of this year in Ivory Coast.
FKF Premier League champions Vihiga Queens are sharpening their skills at the Maisa grounds ahead of the Sekafa tournament that will be held from the 12th to 31st of August in Uganda. The tournament is set to serve as a curtain raiser for the CAF Champions League.
So far the preparations are going on well. As you can see, there is energy, there is passion, there is determination, there is that will to go and defend our title in Uganda.
The team hopes to recapture the CAF title they had won in 2021, beating CBE of Ethiopia 2-1 in the finals. Vihiga Queens find themselves in Group B, where they will be facing strong opponents, including JKT Queens from Tanzania and AS Kigali from Rwanda.
The CAF that we had in Egypt was competitive, but right now we are going to meet teams that we've never faced them before. So I think we are expecting the best from them because all of them are champions. So the competition I know is going to be stiff, but we are equally ready for the task.
In Group A, fans can expect thrilling clashes between Uganda's champions Kampala Queens, Ethiopia's CBE FC, Djibouti's AFD FC, Burundi's Buja Queens, and South Sudan's Yei Joints FC. For Prime Edition, I am Faith Akinyi.
And Faith Akinyi's report brings us to the end of the sports news tonight. My name is Karen Kibet. I'm now joined by my colleague Tom Mboya. Tom, it's very good to see you. We for sure missed you last week. How are you doing? Welcome back.
I'm all right, thanks. I was a bit under the weather, but you know what? I feel stronger.
You're welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's not just last week, it's been a month plus.
Thanks,
But good to see you.
Thanks, guys. By the way, you actually make me realize why it's important. Why hospitals have that allocation for people to walk in and see the patients. It's part of the therapy.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so yes.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Listen, before we go, you know, there's something Lensa told me today, our sign language interpreter, that sign language has no standard. They sign in dialects. So, for example, if Lensa went to Finland or America and she signs, they may not understand her.
Actually, I was reading somewhere where actually there are 138, between 138 and 300 different types of sign languages around the globe. Yeah.
But
so
it would definitely be different, because how can you interpret our slang, sheng? How can you?
No, I even liked what Karen said, that COVID was actually a new word, and they had to sort of think it through and come up with a new word. Is that correct, Karen?
It's true, because our language keeps changing and new words pop up. So I think it's very difficult to have an international standard. So you just go by what your country has to offer.
And actually this begs the question whether different people can, or other people who sign language can communicate in different countries. If we come from Kenya, can you communicate with someone from Tanzania?
Vice versa.
Using vice versa.
At least I know this is standard. That's a hat.
That's a hat. And this is good to go.
Yeah, it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, so I want to thank, on behalf of the indomitable team in the backend production, I want to thank you all. Thank you, Wairimo Njenga. Thank you, Karen, fondly referred to as Marakwet, Kibet, and also our director who was roaring in the background. Tomorrow is another day. We'll be back. My name is Tom Mboya. Good night.
My name is Wairimo Njenga. Have a good night.
My name is Karen Kibet. Have a good night. Our sign language interpreter tonight was Lensa Adingo.
Bye-bye.
The Kenya Defence Forces, KDF, announces to the public the recruitment of General Service Officer, GSO, cadets, regular and graduate degree holders, specialist officers, General